Today I have something special for you, the Meyer-Optik Görlitz Primoplan 58mm early post-World War II version, made entirely out of aluminium. This beauty comes equipped with 14 aperture blades, offering a range from tiny f22 to wide-open f1.9, perfect for capturing a variety of shots, from landscapes to dreamy portraits. It's got 5 elements in 4 groups, following the renowned Ernst Light's Ernostar design. A recipe for producing those lovely bubble bouquets and delivering top-notch picture quality. I bought the lens in a bit of a rough shape and it needed a bit of a TLC, so let's take a look how to fully clean this historic lens. Here are a couple of things you're gonna need: paper towels, latex gloves, lens spanner, precision screwdriver, and of course helicoid grease. And here I have some optional items: lens sucker, paint marker, rocket blower, microfiber cloth and steel wool. Now we're ready to get it started. I recommend wearing latex gloves because you're gonna have a bigger grip. And start by disassembling the lens by turning the front element of the lens. The nameplate and the front glass elements are all in one place, so carefully unscrew it and put them on the side. The reason why I'm removing the glass is basically because I don't wanna put any scratches on it, because this is an old lens, 70 years plus to be more precise. Now you can remove the front nameplate in case it's dirty, like in my case, and just grab the glass elements firmly and then twist them counterclockwise while holding the nameplate. Now here you can see how clean the glass is. I'm still amazed by it. Now when it comes to rear element, you're gonna need a lens spanner. So set the lens spanner to the distance, grab the lens firmly and then twist just a bit so it gets loose. Then you can just unscrew it with your fingers or with your hand. Now in case there is a lot of resistance when it comes to unscrewing it, maybe add a bit of a distilled alcohol or denatured alcohol. Here you can see the dirty aperture blades. They're oily but not Helios 44-2 oily. Now we can remove the aperture ring by removing 2 set screws. Once you remove them and put them on the side, there's a small metal tab that holds the aperture ring on one place. Now you can just simply pull it off gently, but only where the metal tab is. And once again we can put the aperture ring on the side for cleaning. The next thing we're gonna remove is the depth of field scale ring. And just remove or loosen the 4 set screws and then gently pull it off. And don't forget to mark over here where the infinity is. In case you don't mark it, you're gonna have problems later on when you're gonna be assembling the lens, because you won't know where the infinity is. Now we can remove the focusing ring by loosening the 3 set screws. These are bigger than from the aperture ring or the depth of field scale. Now once again I would recommend that you take a couple of pictures or make a few markings on the lens where the infinity focus is. You can actually see how dirty it is, since it hasn't been cleaned through all these years. Now we have 2 bigger screws. These are the screws that go into the helicoid that actually prevent it from popping off, or so to speak. It prevents basically the lens to go past the minimum focusing distance. Here you set the lens to minimum focusing distance, and then you can safely remove those 2 big screws and put them on the side, and don't lose them, because otherwise you won't be able to focus the lens. Now once you've done that, you can gently and slowly turn the lens so it's gonna pop off. And over here you can see how the lens pops off, and you just make a small mark and take a picture so you know where the lens has separated. Now over here we have the second part of the focusing mechanism. This is basically how far and how close the lens is gonna go, I think. This one has a really long screw thread, so you can easily just remove it. Now when it comes to cleaning the aperture blades, this is a really fun thing to do. First thing that you're gonna remove is this metal ring that keeps the blades in place, so to speak. And once this one is removed, you're still gonna have to remove a couple of bits before you can remove the aperture blades and clean them. Now if you're gonna tip the aperture assembly like this, the aperture blades are gonna keep sticking in. There are two tiny screws on the side which you have to remove in order to completely clean the aperture assembly and the blades. There's also one tiny screw on the side that keeps the aperture assembly inside. Now when you remove all the screws, you can just gently pull off this plastic or metal ring that keeps the aperture blades in place. You can see on top right here the screw that keeps the aperture blades in, and once you remove the aperture blades, it's kind of an interesting thing. They kind of look like a small flower, metal flower. And boy are they oily, and if you're gonna clean them, you're gonna have to separate them from each other, so there's no fast way to do this. You just grab one by one. Now there's also a second part on the inside of the aperture assembly that you can completely disassemble. You basically just unscrew it and it's gonna come out. Yeah, and it's ready to be cleaned. When it comes to cleaning the aperture blades, there's no easy process. I haven't found it yet. Just grab a denatured alcohol and cotton swab and just gently brush the dirt and the oil off the aperture blades. And one thing that we can also clean is the aluminium. Basically just hot water and dish soap. And if you want to get it a bit of a shiny, just grab steel wool and polish them. Now during the process there's gonna be a chance that the lettering is gonna come off, so grab the pen and reapply it. Once it's completely dried, just grab the steel wool and just remove it again. Now when it comes to cleaning the glass elements, I would recommend cleaning them only if they are really dirty and moldy. In case they are not, just leave them alone. There's really no reason to completely disassemble the dirty glass elements and clean them. Now the rear lens element is the easiest to clean. Just grab the rear bit and the front bit and just unscrew them like you did it with the front glass elements in the beginning. And when it comes to assembling the aperture blades, well, there's no easy process. One by one, just take your time. If it's gonna take 30 minutes, it's gonna take 30 minutes. If it's gonna take 2 hours, it's gonna take 2 hours. There's no easy way. And if you drop your pliers on the blades and everything falls apart, just breathe. And once you have all of the aperture blades on the place, you really gonna have to be careful how you're gonna put them back in, because yeah, you don't wanna lose all of the progress. And if you did everything correctly and assembled the lens back together as you should, then the lens is probably gonna look like it came from the factory. Now enjoy a couple of pictures straight out of the camera without any post-processing.